Alright, guys, welcome to another session. Mm, mm, mm.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Thank you everyone for joining in, for watching our videos, for liking, for subscribing. For those that have commented, please keep on sharing, keep on liking. And also, if you haven't subscribed and you enjoy our videos, there's anything that we say that blesses you, you enjoy this video, you're blessed by it, please subscribe. And also click the notification bell so that you get first dibs on new videos that are released.
Absolutely.
So today we're doing something slightly different from our previous videos. No question of the week today. What we want to do is actually share on a topic that we think is really important. Because we know that when people go into marriage, they go with a lot of fear or the preconceived notion that the first few years of marriage are going to be really difficult, that the first year especially is going to be really tough, and all that. And we were talking like a few days ago, and we're like, okay, so that wasn't our experience. I actually think that the first year was our best year because I feel like now we've like slacked off a bit. He feels like although it was like a good year, we've had
better years, I think.
Yeah, we've had better years. So what we want to do is sort of like just share a few highlights of that first year that we hope help you.
Absolutely. Because watch out, I think the second one is the spirit of deceit that we have to cast out of our marriage immediately.
No spirit of deceit.
But I think the smartest thing that we did was that we took 6 months out before trying to have a baby. Because obviously we're just getting married. Obviously we knew each other before we got married, but now that we're living in the same place, we wanted to get to know each other, discover each other's patterns, what our differences before adding another human being into the mix, because we keep saying it like first impressions matter. So I know there are a lot of marriages that have had issues because they had a baby almost immediately after they got married, so they never really got to know themselves. Plus, when the woman is married, hormones are raging and all. The woman is pregnant. Sorry, the woman is pregnant. Hormones are raging and everything. So you tend to see your wife from that perspective as opposed to who she really is. So for us, we just took 6 months out to sort of get to know each other for who we are before a baby comes in, so that if my wife is different during that time, I know that okay, it is just because she's going through this situation, but I know who she really is, as opposed to allowing that situation define who she is in my mind.
I feel like a lot of people rush. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's everybody's own individual decision to make. But I know like a lot of people say stuff like, oh, just get having children out of the way, and then after that, you guys can have all the fun you want. And at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, at what point exactly? Because first of all, you're dealing with a baby, then you're dealing with a toddler, then you're dealing with a like relatively grown kid, and then you're dealing with a teenager. So is it that you're going to wait for 18 years for the child to leave and then go to university before you start? At that time, you're even paying heavy university school fees there. So like, at what point are you supposed to be enjoying yourself? And that's one kid. So imagine if you have like two others after that one, you're going to wait maybe 25 years for that last child to go through this stuff. And so I mean, so like he said, it was basically just a time for us to get to know who we really were without the added pressure of external factors.
Absolutely. Second thing, the strangest thing that happened in our first year of marriage was that there was a spirit of deceit that followed her into our house.
When people, they're imagining demons and things
let me explain
when there's nothing, they're just imagining it because of their own guilt.
So you guys just imagine this: 4 months after we had gotten married, right? I hadn't seen her use the toilet once. For the number 2, by the way. I hadn't smelled anything. I don't think I'm disgusting. I just love my wife so much. I want to know everything about her. Imagine you're married for 4 months. I thought I was married to a Barbie. She's just
You know,
there.
he actually went to go and report me to my mom that do I have a medical condition they did not tell
I
him
had to
about
be
that.
sure because I wasn't
never,
sure about this situation that I had gotten myself into. So what I told her was, babe, the next time you are doing the number 2, just call me once you're done so that I can inspect the toilet and see that you are actually a real human being. I want to smell it. I want to see it.
But you guys should judge this, yeah. You know how it is when you live on the mainland and you work on the island, right? You wake up really, really early in the morning to get ready. When this one is still sleep, will I now wake him that I'm going to get ready? So before I start having my bath, I'm going to use the toilet.
So weekends were out of it.
What if I don't use the toilet during weekends?
So you don't use it during weekends.
What if I don't?
I have my own theory. She used to wake up at 3 a.m. to do this thing because she was just because I used to feel bad because I'm like every time I use toilet I'm like, babe, I just dropped the bomb, man.
See, the real guilty conscience explanation.
I think you should give it a few seconds before you go in there. And then I'm saying these things all the time, and then she's not even reciprocating.
What if is that I use the toilet during the weekends, and because my doo-doo don't stink?
Of course it does. What are you talking about?
Because my doo-doo don't stink. Anyway, Sha, just...
So it's my own that...
But you just said that... But you just... No, but wait. You just said that you always destroy the toilet. That's what you just said.
No, I dropped the bomb. Doesn't mean I destroyed it.
I don't... What do bombs do?
Bombs that don't go off. There are bombs that don't go off. I'm dropping fake bombs. Anyway, going sliding past this very quickly. I'm not disgusting, by the way. I'm just very human. I think one other highlight from our first year was, obviously we didn't have sex before our marriage. So, for me, I was really looking forward to it. I'm like, the 2 years I didn't do anything, I'm going to make up for it. And the first year really taught me that sex isn't really everything because, at some point I was like, I need to be productive. I need to be functional. Like, I have bills to pay. I have a family to feed, and we can't just keep doing this. Like, I'll just be useless the day after. Like, I'm just like, I'm tired, I'm lazy. And so at that point, I'm like, you know what? Even though a lot of people look forward to sex in marriage, it's critical, but it's really not everything. Like, there is a lot more that you need to do.
I'm like, okay, you're waking up early to go to work. You've worked the whole day. You're coming back home late. You still have things. Do you understand? You have kids to take care of, things to do, and so. I mean, obviously, you make time for sex and all of that. But I'm sorry, guys, if you just want to get married so that you can just be having sex up and down. Like he said, if that's what you want your full-time job to be,
it needs to be a full-time job. You can't do anything else, so it's for me, I just came to the realization that it's good, but it's not something that you can be doing all the time. I don't know how guys, I think they lie when they say we're doing this thing 3-4 times a week. Guy, you're not working. As in, I promise you're not a hard worker. You're working at home and you're sleeping at work. As in, I think that's what is going on. So yeah, next thing, what do you think was your biggest compromise?
For this one, I really needed to dig deep. Because he knows I don't usually keep things, store things like that in my memory bank, but I probably should start doing so that we can share more of those type of things with you guys. But the one that does come to mind is that I definitely had to sort of reduce my interaction or the time that I gave external parties, because yours truly here felt in his opinion that it was excessive. I didn't. I still don't. But you know how it is. You're married. Anything you can do to make... Still don't. Wow. Anything you can do to make your... By
the way, this has been our biggest fight as well. The biggest compromise has been... Fight? Okay, it's not a fight. No, they will understand it as a fight, but our biggest disagreement, because it's one thing that we haven't come... And I promise you, if I tell you the story, you'll be on my side.
If I tell you the story, you'll be on my side.
Okay. Anyway.
That's he too, he knows.
No. Because I've actually shared it with one or two confidential friends, and they're like, yo, I don't,
Of course, that's
I
the
don't
thing,
see
because you
how
will
that
share
would
it
work.
from your perspective. Your perspective is probably not the true perspective. It is your perspective.
But I guess for us, because we never really came to, and we still haven't come to a common ground on this. I think in our first year we had to, seek an
It wasn't
independent.
even we had to. It was actually my suggestion. As in, he raised it up. He raised it like once, and I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. Let's
It
just.
was more than once.
No. It was the first time you. It was the first time you brought it up that it was serious. As in, when you brought it up as an issue.
Okay.
The first time you brought it up as an issue, I was like, you know what? Let's just go and discuss this with an independent third party. So we're discussing this again, and then he starts telling me all sorts of conclusions he heard this independent third party make that he never made. You see, no. But you see why I'm saying that certain things, and we had this conversation. It was actually today we had this conversation. You know how people.
It was getting heated.
How people. He's the one that was getting heated, because this is how I was when I was talking to him.
Okay.
You know how people interpret things through their own whatever, and obviously the same is true for me. I'm not saying it's just him, but how people generally come to conclusions or filter things or information through their own eyes or through their own experiences. So I think for me that was,
you know what, at some point I'm
compromise.
sure we'll come back with this particular topic to sort of share it with you guys and see what your take is. The only reason why we can't share it is because the people involved haven't been notified or don't know about this. So it's going to be a big shock if they hear this. Like, whoa, I didn't know that was a problem. But anyway, what's your biggest adjustment? Did you need to? I think, okay, one of my biggest compromises.
Still adjusting.
One of my biggest compromises.
Nobody wants to know what your compromise was.
Wow, you see, she's taking it personal now. You see that?
I'm not taking it personal, babe. You can see why. You can see why. Just have a look. You can see why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see I don't just talk for talking sake.
I don't see what you're talking about anyway. My biggest compromise was I think for me, like, people who know me, I like to look good. I like to look presentable. Like, I just feel like the way you dress determines how you are dressed. It's just how I've always been. When I got married to her, she didn't really take her appearance as serious as, look how pretty she's looking right now, just looking pink, looking like a wife, and
let me finish now. Sorry, no, finish and I'll tackle you. No, finish.
We're not tackling you.
Finish and I'll tackle you.
Wow.
Tackle you.
Okay, so she never used to look like this, and I remember, we had a discussion. I'm like, babe, like, when you move, I move. When you like, there's a way that we're supposed to look. And you need to put more effort into how you look, basically, not just because she's a very comfortable, functional person. If I can just wear a dress, it covers everything, that I'm good. That's the way she was when I got married to her. So my biggest compromise was, after we had discussed it, she had said, okay, I get where you're coming from, I'll make a few changes, but the changes weren't happening as fast as I expected it to be. So my biggest compromise was that I was patient enough to allow her to change in her own time. And look at her now.
I love what he just said, because to me, it illustrates, is a perfect illustration about why you should marry somebody that is submitted to the influence of the Holy Spirit. Because all he just said now is evidence that his perspective has changed. We had this conversation today, right? And he was talking about, how, the way I dress has changed and stuff. And I laughed because I dress the exact same way.
We also had the discussion.
You had this top I'm wearing. As in, like, and he knows this, since we moved to Canada, the only thing that I've bought are jumpers.
And the jumpers are looking better.
The
jumpers have changed the look.
Is it jumpers that I wear during summer?
If we took a survey of everybody,
you know what's going to happen? We have to dig up old pictures Anyway, Sha,
let's not do that.
Long and short of, as in the point I'm trying to make with this scenario is, yours truly here, when we got married, if you see the image of the person that he wanted, as in this slay queen, body magic, snatched waist, weave down to her back, heels for Africa. You see what I'm saying?
Used to.
So
before we got married.
when you have that sort of a standard, is anything going to match up to that? Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is, we thank God that his perspective has changed. That what he sees now, he now appreciates.
I'm just gonna give you this one. I'm just gonna allow you have this one.
Those that know me,
it's all good. It's all good.
Those that know me, I dress the exact same way.
Whoa, no,
the exact same way.
Definitely had a positive influence on your life. Trust me. Anyway, biggest adjustment. This will be the last one. We're running out of time. Biggest adjustment for me was having another family come into my life. So the in-laws and everything, because I feel like when I went to boarding school, like when my parents put me in boarding school, something in me died. Like something changed, because as a 13-year-old, I don't even know how old I was when I went there, but as a 13-year-old, going away, not having any contact with your siblings, your family, maybe once a month they'll come for like a few hours. I think I became independent quite early. And then after secondary school, I sort of went straight to England, where I went for uni. I spent the next 6 years there. So I didn't really have that sort of, I'm close to my family, but I can do without seeing them for a while, if I'm going to be honest. Like, thank God for WhatsApp video and all that, WhatsApp call where we can communicate, but I can do without, talking to them, because I don't know, I guess that's just how I was brought up. So having the in-laws come in as well, obviously I had to make some changes because they won't understand that, people are in my family, they've come to accept me as that guy who just doesn't check up on anybody. But my in-laws, that was a big adjustment because I had to make some effort. I think in my first year I made the most effort, but now it has sort of become who I really am. So I think that was the biggest adjustment. Did you have any adjustments?
Still adjusting.
You're still adjusting. Wow. Is it a positive or negative adjustment?
It's adjustments.
Wow. Okay. You see, that biggest disagreement is it has changed her mood right now. I don't know how. I don't know how we're going to get to the bottom of this, but I think we're going to have a survey at some point. We're going to share this whatever with you, and then we'll see what this is. They're going to be our independent decision maker. So if you want to hear this, drop a comment, and if there are enough comments, we will sort of,
if there are enough comments, people that are actually willing to mediate,
be objective, and maybe wrong, but I know she's wrong. I may be wrong, but I know she's wrong.
Imagine.
And you're definitely going to be on my side. If I tell you the whole story, you're definitely going to get it. Like, you're going to be like, babe, you can't do that.
Not if he tells you the whole story. Once he tells you the truth, you will be on my side.
Anyway, we can go on forever with this because... Anyway, so those were the highlights from our first year. Which one stood out to you? Which one...
Can you relate to?
Drop in the comment section. And till next week, we have something. I think we're going to be discussing something very interesting next week.
Are we?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll let you guys know. Have a good Sunday and see you next week. Peace.